for a teacher to screw a 17-year-old boy or girl. I mean, obviously there are laws. There are laws. But at 18, they become able to make up their minds, their choices, their decisions. 17 is not that far from 18. I'm not advocating it. You know, a lot can happen. A lot of people aren't really mentally developed at that age. You know? Maybe they should raise the age of consent. Maybe instead of 18, they should make it 19 or even 20. Just to make a really clear demarcation. Just saying. The thing I wanted to bring up here, God, some of these tales are just really bizarre. I mean, here's a woman from a school in Wayne Township. She was having a relationship with a 15-year-old autistic boy. Oh my God. Prosecutors say what started as a mentor relationship turned into a sexual liaison that lasted a year. This woman would allegedly park her car down the street from the boy's home. He would climb out his window to meet her in the middle of the night. Boy, she must have been lonely, this woman. She pleaded to sexual misconduct with a minor. She was given a 2-year prison sentence, forced to register as a sex offender. How about that? Man, these women. Can't believe. Here's another one. This is a woman from Polk County, Wisconsin. She was charged with having sex with a 16-year-old male student. The illicit 7-month sexual relationship with the high school student she tutored included road trips sneaking into his home in the early morning hours for sex. Wow, man. That is wild. Wild, wild, wild. So one of the things that connects a lot of these cases has to do with cell phones and texting and messaging. And here's another one. These are crazy. These are absolutely crazy. Here's this one woman. Check this out. She's a music teacher and reportedly slept with an 11-year-old former student and also had simultaneous sexual relationships with the boy's father. Whoa! She's sleeping with the kid and the dad? In a deposition, the boy's father said he had the same sort of sexual relationship with Flanagan that ex-President Bill Clinton had with Monica Lewinsky. What does that mean? I mean, these are absolutely nuts, right? So the cell phone plays a large role in these. Some of these women are really sad, I have to say. Really, really sad. The cell phone plays a large role in how these people hook up. They're sending text messages. They're sending photos back and forth. In a number of cases, here we go. Here's another one. This woman was an English teacher. She taught at, and a cheerleading coach. Taught at Empire High School, Vail, Arizona. She turned herself into Tucson police back in 2010, where she was charged with 1 count each of luring a minor for sexual exploitation, sexual conduct with minor. The boy's father reportedly found inappropriate messages on the child's cell phone. A subsequent investigation revealed Elliot had a physical relationship with the student. Man, the cell phone is freaking dangerous. It is absolutely dangerous. And this is where they find a lot of the evidence is on the cell phones. In some of these cases, they would okay, here's another one. Sort of exactly what I was Talking about this woman is the life choices teacher. I think you got to do better screening. Azalea Middle School in St. Petersburg, Florida. She's the life choices teacher, or was. She was arrested in March of 2009 for exchanging pornographic pictures of genitals with male students by camera cell phone. Martin was subsequently evicted from her apartment by her landlord. This boggles my mind. Absolutely, I mean, it just blows my mind. I'm not alone. Here's one. My parents were shocked. This is a woman by the name of Courtney Gerald, 22 years old, math teacher, Utah. And this is with a woman. Prosecutors said the activity happened at her house. Everybody loved her. Student Catherine Orchard told KSL, my parents were even way shocked because my parents loved her too. They thought she was a great teacher. Here's one. Former teacher, track coach, Hurricane High, St. George, Utah, was sentenced in May 2008 to 30 days in jail for having sex with a male student. The mother of three's relationship, relationship with the teen began after the then 17-year-old victim approached her with admiration. In the summer of 2007, she began texting him. Chrissy Hissey. That's her name. Murrieta Valley High School. Police said the harmful material involved photos and videos allegedly found on cell phones of both the teacher and the girls, or the girl. Christy Wells. She's been facing 6 counts of rape, but pleaded guilty to 6 felony charges of unlawful transaction with a minor. Family members reportedly found text messages on the boy's phone and felt they were indicative of a sexual relationship. I'm telling you, it is the phone. It is the cell phone. Kids should not be allowed to bring their cell phones to school. Okay? Let me do 2 things here. First of all, the cell phone, the cell phone is this really weird interface between like a layer of the conscience and this point of temptation. You know, the cell phone had to be thought up by Lucifer. It's got to be a Luciferian gadget. People are busted on their cell phones all the time. So to some extent, it's kind of an interesting tool that way. Like, you know, if you're trying to, run a side game or a side hustle, or a couple of them in your love life, whatever, you're going to get probably found out at some point. That's what happens. But a lot of this stuff didn't happen until cell phones were there. Am I right? There's something about the cell phone that has unlocked a component that is slightly pornographic and permissive. And I'm not making a value judgment. I'm just making an observation because of what you can pass back and forth. All right, think about this for a minute, okay? Think about this. Let's say, for instance, you were one of these teachers and you wanted to show off your boobies and your yoni to a student. Pre-cell phone. Well, what would you have to do? Well, first of all, you'd have to take a picture yourself, right? And that's kind of hard because a cell phone allows you to take a picture yourself. Pretty easy. But with a camera, unless you have a Polaroid. That's a different story. Not everybody had Polaroids, although they were quite good for having anonymous and salacious photos without having them, for the next part, be developed. Because if you were doing that, you'd have to take your film down to the local photomat, drive up, drop it off, and have them develop it, and run the risk of having your photos being seen and say, well, they're pornographic, and next thing you know, you get a knock at your door. I mean, you just couldn't do it. But let's say you follow through, you get the Polaroid, you snap it, and you have the Polaroid, and you like pass it off to a kid. You know? What's the kid gonna do? Go run down to the store, go buy a Polaroid, do the same thing for him. Hey, can I borrow your Polaroid tonight? I got something to show you. I mean, that stuff just didn't happen. I mean, maybe it did, but there's something about the cell phone that allows this to proliferate in a way that has never taken place before. Never. Never. And here's the other thing. Having a cell phone, in a weird way, elevates a teen's status to the same status as a teacher. They are at a horizontal plane because the cell phone connects them. I think that comes into the mindset. Whether it's thought out or not, or like, oh, well, he's got an iPhone 7, so he must be mature. I mean, I don't think it really goes that deep, but there's something about the complementary exchange of technology at an equal, horizontal, and parallel level. There's no hierarchy involved. It's not like the teacher has the cell phone and the student does it. Because if that's the case, now we have a hierarchy. And it puts the student beneath the teacher. And yes, I'm sure there are tons of versions of this for men as well. Tons. I just found this yesterday and it flipped my way. Because a lot of these women, they're attractive. What are they doing? It blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. If you're the husband of one of these women, holy smokes, or your wife of even one of the men, wow, crazy. Here's another one. She's a teacher at Stanford High School in Connecticut. She was accused of having a 9-month sexual relation with her 18-year-old male student. Police say an examination of the married woman's phone showed more than 2,000 text messages and hundreds of calls exchanged between her and the student. There's also evidence she had sent naked photos of herself to the teen. She had allegedly had sex more than 20 times with the teen and threatened to fail him if he broke off their relationship. Oh my God. Man. She was admitted to a locked psychiatric care facility after turning herself in. Authorities say Watkins also provided the victim and another 50-year-old student with marijuana so they could smoke drugs on and off school grounds. Now this one's a piece of work. Okay, so she taught at Elizabeth High School. This is in Parker, Colorado. And she was arrested in 2006 for allegedly having sex with a 17-year-old football player the day after her divorce was finalized. Okay, so she's thinking, I'm no longer married. Yes, I'm going to score a touchdown with a football player. According to the arrest affidavit, she and the teen had sex on the floor of her hotel room while her children, ages 4 and 8, and their 17-year-old babysitter slept on beds in the same room. Wow. That's mind-blowing. But I'm telling you, it's a cell. I mean, look, with these women or men, I haven't gotten into the hip parade for the men, but would they still have the same kind of access in the same way if they didn't have cell phones? No. The answer is no. Absolutely not. Having affairs with teachers have been going on for a long time. But I would say that